Hey everyone, this is Brian Holmes with the Strategic Living Podcast and BrianHolmes.com. You're listening to my great friend Stephanie O'Brien, and you are about to be moved by purpose.
I think every stage push going forward, making changes, I went through different kind of struggle and learned different things about myself and how I can push through. So I wonder which experience I should actually share with your listeners, because I'm a mess. Every step of the way, I learn lessons.
Are you longing to know what your purpose is? Are you on the wrong career path? Do you feel like there must be more to life? Don't worry, there's hope. It's time to be moved by purpose. Now your host, Stephanie O'Brien.
Welcome to the Moved by Purpose podcast. It is Stephanie O'Brien. Thank you for checking in with me today. I want to remind everyone that I have the very powerful and exciting program called the Purpose Pursuit. And this program is for you if you feel very discouraged in your career path, career search. You've taken action. You've tried multiple things. You've gone back to school. You've done multiple jobs, and nothing seems to be working for you. And now you just feel lost, overwhelmed, and all you want is a clear sense of direction. So this program is made for you if that resonates and relates to you in any way. I've also priced this program to be very affordable at the level of accessibility that you get from me with email coaching, one-on-one coaching, plus group coaching. This program would be priced at $500, and I know that even that price is below the value of what you get, but I wanted it to be something that even someone with more limited finances could manage to come up with. And that's priced at $150 a month. So I want to see you over at movedbypurpose.net. You can send me an email at stephanie@movedbypurpose.net to connect with me and inquire more about Purpose Pursuit. And that registration will close at the end of the year, or I might open it up till January because I know the holidays are a little bit difficult, and perhaps maybe you can use your Christmas gifts as a way to invest in the program. I really want you rolling in 2015 very strongly and having a real clear direction for the beginning of the year and being able to strategize and be really successful. So I'm setting you up for success. It is something definitely worth investing in. I will never again offer this program at this low of a price. So I would definitely strongly urge you to take advantage of it while you can. And now on to introducing my guest today. My guest today is Dr. Pei over at The Relaunch Show. Pei came to the U.S. in her 20s. She's currently the business executive and co-host of The Relaunch Show. And she's also a gifted endodontist, which is a root canal specialist, which doesn't sound all that pleasant, but I don't know if any of you have needed one. Though they're not pleasant, they're also needed and necessary. So we're grateful for the talent of endodontists. So without any further delay, let's get right back into the interview. Welcome to the show, Pei. I am very honored to have you today.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for the invitation. I look forward to sharing my story and maybe a little bit what I learned in my journey.
Definitely. So I would love to dive a little bit more into understanding a background of kind of where you came from, like your work history, and what led you to now co-hosting the Relaunch Show.
Well, if you ask me back in my 20s or even 30s, there would be no way I could even think about doing what I do now. I think if I may go back just a little bit, I went to college in China when I was 18. Of course, at the time, I always admire people, especially nowadays, if I see a teenager who's like, this is what I'm going to do, this is school I'm going to. Oh my gosh, how come I didn't know that back then? I just, at age 18, all I knew was college is the only ticket to a success, which I had no clue what it meant to me. So my mom, she was the cardiologist and a nutrition expert. My dad was the editor for a newspaper, and they just encouraged me and said, medicine is a great profession for girls. And I did, and I still do have lots of interest in healthy living, and I do have a gift connecting with people. So naturally, that's where I went. And long story short, if I fast forward a little bit, after the dental school, actually, I came to the U.S. to study for a PhD in biology because, wanted to come to the U.S. and explore a different country to seek better opportunities in this country. And then after that, I pursued a specialty training to become a root canal specialist in dentistry, and I owned my very extremely successful practice, but finding myself enjoying it less and less over the last 2 years, and sold it this year, and wanting to explore a different type of business that give me more challenge, creativity, and opportunity and flexibility. So a few things that lined up with this stage of my life.
Your story, I know that there are listeners that can totally relate to being so young, having to figure out what you want to do when you grow up, basically, for college. Have that clarity and understanding, because college is a big investment of time, energy, money, and at 18, you're expected to declare your major and study that, and then basically do that for the rest of your life. But as what you went through and what most of my guests go through, and most people, is that you're constantly shifting and changing direction because you make decisions and you can learn if it's a good fit for you or not. And even though you experienced success and enjoyment in something, sometimes you just, even when something's working really well for you, sometimes you just kind of transition to something new. And I think people get kind of locked into the thought that once you make a decision, you're in it for until the day you die. So I think it freaks people out. So I'm glad that you shared that. You shifted and changed many times on your journey, and you're doing all right.
Stephanie, thanks for that comment. And it's interesting, if you don't mind, just at this moment, I call you an outsider. From your perspective, from somebody who look at my life and almost give a short summary, and I almost look like somebody who just embrace change and always go to the next thing. But I know, and my husband knows, how much I resist change, how much effort it actually took for me, and how much decision time it takes me to take that, to develop that courage, and to be able to step into each new thing that I know in my heart is the right thing to do. Honestly, it has not been easy.
I'm really glad you clarified that, because I think more people can relate to you and how difficult change is and how challenging it can be and stuff, because everybody has different wiring, and I think there's some personalities that are more prone to pull the trigger, sometimes even a little too eagerly, and then others are more resistant to change in the whole process. And it's very, very scary, overwhelming, intimidating, and it is not easy. And change really isn't easy for anyone. It's scary for, I think, just about all of us. But I think it's very important that you say that to think through and process is really important. I tend to be on the trigger happy side where where if it's not working, I'll just change it, when really I should probably slow down and figure out what exactly isn't working, why, how can I avoid this in the future, where am I going, what's my target, where am I going to? And so I think that you sharing that you did it, even though it was not easy, but you did it. And that is very admirable that you stepped out and did it, because I think people can get stuck in the whole processing of it, the thinking about change. Like, you know that you need to, but like they're just so afraid of taking that step. So what did you do to help you push through that fear?
Well, let's see. I think every stage push going forward, making changes, I went through different kind of struggle and learned different things about myself and how I can push through. So I wonder which experience I should actually share with your listeners, because I'm a mess. Every step of the way, I learned lessons. And let's see, maybe we can talk about the most recent, walking to finally decide to sell this extremely successful practice and start to run the relaunch show, to be part of a radio show that encourage people to learn habits to become top performers and change your life.
Yes, I know that was a tough decision for you. And I remember listening to Joel, or you both making that announcement, and I was really excited for you. So I would love to hear about what you went through to make that decision. Okay.
I think the decision came when I realized as much as every case, every patient could bring challenges, it becomes a routine where I felt like there's got to be more out there. And not having a kid myself, I think I start to feel like there's so much creativity in me that I'm not expressed. So for a little while, I explored lots of hobbies. I got myself into ballet dance. I got my dogs into therapy dogs, so I volunteer on the side. I started to enroll myself to be a yoga instructor. I think I just try to find things outside my work to explore and to express something that's in me that I couldn't get from my work. And that worked for some time, but after a while, I realized this is not something I could continue on for the rest of my life. And I want to be able to touch more people with my skills, because my confidence level increased as, the business grow and the things around me. I realized there's so much gift in me that I want to be able to even, speak, even able to write a book. And being in dentistry it's not a small city, but I felt my life was just so small. So that's decision came when my husband was mainly at the time a career coach and helping other people reach out to the dream life they want to live. And another part of it is I know I don't want my business to be tied in with just one brick and mortar business where I have to be in the business to make any income. If I'm not there, there's nothing coming in. So I think a combination of few factors, and one of the first thing that I took that I'm very proud of is we paid off our debt.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And not only our home, but not only the personal, but also I paid off the business debt. So it's amazing the freedom you experience, and because I bought the practice. When I paid off the practice way ahead of the scheduled time, I'm like, okay, so now I don't have that burden. I don't have some obligation I have to feel. So now what? Now with the freedom I have, the actual income I do get, can I actually take the next step? So we do have to create a runway for us in life to make changes. And I think finance is a major part of it.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And I've had my own mistakes for mismanaging finances or not enough foresight that has made things pretty difficult. And I'm hustling to be debt free and working really, really hard. And hopefully by the end of the year, I will be, which will be huge. Yeah. And it is so important, like you mentioned, to get basically your ducks in order. Like, you made sure that you set yourself up financially to have that freedom so you can think more clearly and not have anything hanging over your head, so you can freely walk into whatever the next step was for you without really any guilt or ties left to whatever you're trying to leave behind.
Yeah.
And I think that's really wise. So I'm really, really glad that you shared that, because some people, I think, they just want the escape or they just want to get out, but they don't realize the importance of disciplining yourself to do the uncomfortable thing of working really hard to get out of debt and to stay there, save, have a nice runway in place so you can transition. I think some people transition a little bit early, and that has a whole new set of issues and problems when you do that.
There's something interesting I want to share, and this is not everybody. Thank goodness it wasn't me. But a few people, when they share their story on Relaunch Show, it might be more common for women, but it happens in men as well. When they face a transition, when they face a decision they ought to make, when it's so scary, instead of taking the action and make a plan, they actually start to use different ways to numb that feeling. And one of it is actually they start spending more money shopping, like for shoes, for stuff that they feel that void. So be careful if any of your listeners in an easy time where you feel like shopping actually calm you down, so you can postpone making this transition decision or planning. Be aware of that, because that actually will take you backwards.
Yes, very much so. And I was one of those people that did that.
I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Oh, no, I share that openly. I was like, yeah. Well, this was before I slowed down to really, like, it was before I actually disciplined myself. So slow down, create a plan, get clear on what I want, and then do the hard work involved in getting that. I knew something was wrong and would be very unrest, and it wasn't enjoyable. And so I was very unsettled. I knew I needed to make a change, but I didn't know what that was and what that looked like and what was involved. So yeah, I would go hit retail therapy was a big one for me. And of course, that's just a nasty perpetuating guilt cycle. That just makes it worse. It really does set you back. I'm grateful that I broke free of that. Very, very grateful that I stopped. And now I can't even stand going to shopping malls anymore. They're just annoying to me. I'm like, I don't know, because I just realized the value of my time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to be spending my time doing this unless I like kind of strategically have the money and I've budgeted the time. That's the only time I'm going shopping. But oftentimes I'm like, I'd rather be visiting with friends or doing something else than this. So thank you for bringing that up, because I know there's people that are struggling with that one as well. So I would love for people to connect with you and find you. I know your story was very inspirational and filled with a lot of wisdom. I want people to reach out to you. So how can they find you and connect with you?
Thank you for asking, and thank you for doing what you do, Stephanie. RelaunchShow.com is where we hang out, and I'm pretty easy to connect. If you find me on Twitter, I'm active there for sure, but my email is pei@relaunchshow.com. And yeah, again, I think every time I'm talking, Stephanie, to your listener, every time you hear a story like this, I believe that, you constantly make a decision. At this moment, you're hearing a story on Stephanie's show. You're choosing not to hear a drama story from the radio or TV. you are actually investing in yourself. You taking a step further in your life already. So I want to celebrate that with you as well. So thank you for the opportunity, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll make sure to put all of the links and stuff in the show notes to connect with you if anyone wants to come back to the website and visit. So thank you again, Pei.
Absolutely. The decision came when I realized as much as every case, every patient could bring challenges, it becomes a routine where I felt like there's got to be more out there. And not having a kid myself, I think I start to feel like there's so much creativity in me that I'm not expressed. So for a little while, I explored lots of hobbies.
So there you have it. That was Dr. Pei over at Relaunch. You can find her and connect with her at therelaunchshow.com and look up their podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, or just go to relaunchshow.com and listen to it. So I want you to make sure to connect with her. Facebook, Twitter, at Dr. Pei Kang. That's PEIKANG. That's on Twitter. All of these links to connect with her are in the show notes over at movedbypurpose.net. So if you're driving, doing chores, or whatever you want to revisit later, these links are available for you to link up and connect with her. So I want to make sure that you guys stay connected. Thank her for her time and her inspiring story. And once again, Purpose Pursuit, come on over to movedbypurpose.net and register for that program. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to, rate, and write a review of my podcast in iTunes. This will take only a moment of your time, but will be a very big gift to me if you are finding value and finding that this show serves you well with inspiration and helping you just get a dose of positivity and helping you feel unstuck and get that push and motivation you need. The best return and gift for me is, one, I love to hear from you and who my listeners are, so send me a message, say hello. And then two, subscribe, rate, and write a review. And I will talk to you all next week.